After being selected with the 3rd overall pick in the most recent NBA draft, you can imagine the expectations for Evan Mobley would be pretty high. However, due to the nature of his position and the seemingly packed front court of the Cavaliers, many, including myself, thought he might be eased into a role, and maybe we'd see him flourish later in his rookie year, or even in his sophomore one. That couldn't be more wrong. The Cavs have thrown him straight in the firing line, and he has more than held his own. In fact, he's a big reason why the Cavs look like they're making a serious run for the playoffs. A big part of that is his defense, and that's exactly what we will examine in this video. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Mobley has a defensive rating of 98.5, which is best amongst rookies by a full 5.5 points per 100. In fact, that is in 10th in the entire league, and 6th if you count all the Warriors guys as one. Mobley is already one of the league's best rim protectors. He averages 2 blocks per game, which is 7th in the NBA. His block rate of 47.8% is 12th in the league. Mobley's 7'4" wingspan and springy jumping ability makes him a tough prospect to beat at the rim. In a game against Chicago, he managed to rack up a commanding 5 blocks. Here, he initially switches onto the smaller guard, we'll speak more about that later, but because of his positioning, he can switch back onto Bradley after a pocket pass. I assume Tony saw the stringy Mobley in his way of the basket and thought he could just go to work down low on the young rookie. Mobley holds up just fine and absolutely swallows up the shot. Here the 3-point attempt comes in from Troy Brown Jr. and finds Tony Bradley. Mobley picks him up but reads the downhill cut from Brown Jr. The pass triggers the switch and he shapes his body in a way that forces the right-handed Brown Jr. to the left side of the rim to make the finish a heck of a lot more difficult. And he finishes it off with a little slap onto the backboard. This is a similar one, except this comes after a missed free throw. This time the ball finds Levine on the perimeter and he drives hard to the basket. Now, unlike Troy Brown Jr., Levine is one of the most athletic and acrobatic finishers at the rim in the league. This doesn't scare Mobley. He sees Levine go up and he just hoovers this one up and the possession is over. Next up, Cleveland hosted the Magic at the Rocket Mortgage Arena. Here he reads the hamstring drive and comes over from the weak side. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the best combination of Mobley's height, length, and athleticism I have ever seen. Not only is Mobley just taller and longer than most of his opponents, but his timing is nearly impeccable. On this one, he times this to almost the exact moment when Michael Mulder reaches his apex of his jump and is about to release his shot, and then he just pokes this away. Here he switches on to the smaller Franz Wagner and keeps up well, but then Franz hits him with the Euro to try and create space, but there's that tree branch again. Switching on to guys on the perimeter has been a theme of his season so far, and it's a big reason why he's been such a defensive monster this season. His game down in Miami had a few examples of this. Here he finds himself on Tyler Hero on the perimeter, and for most guys his size, this would be when they start screaming "Mayday, Mayday!" But Mobley is not most guys. Hero hits him with the in and out dribble, which has him a step behind, but Mobley uses those light feet and long legs to recover in an instant and get up a smother attempt. You see, faster perimeter guys can get past him, but like a shadow, he's never far behind them. In this one, he's on Hero again. This time, Hero, wary of being embarrassed again, decides to try and beat him out on the perimeter. Except Mobley's good reach and long arms allow him to get a touch on that. And now, Tyler Hero is officially bamboozled. Hero's nightmare continued in the second quarter. Here he goes back to the drive, and this time Mobley pokes the ball away before he can even get a shot off. The fact that Mobley has been this good defensively is noteworthy, but the fact that he's been able to do it at such a young age and so early in his NBA career indicates that there may be a Defensive Player of the Year award in his future. His versatility, intellect, and physical gifts make him nearly the ideal package for a modern-day big man defensively. I can't wait to see where he goes from here. Well, that was all for this video. If you did enjoy, please put like and tap that like button. And until next time, it has been your boy, Zachary McAllister. Have a good day.